For more than 20 years, there's been a wide variety of Halo titles which have been released, starting off with Combat Evolved in 2001, leading up all the way to the current title of Halo Infinite. In those times, and in all those games, there has been a lot of different multiplayers. But the question is, what are my favourite of the Halo multiplayer maps? So, in today's list, I'm going to be counting down my personal top 10 Halo multiplayer maps. So this will range from the mainline titles only, so there won't be anything like Halo Wars or anything like that. And also, I should mention, the one Halo game which is exempt from this list is Halo 5 Guardians, mainly because I just haven't played it. Because for some reason, it was never added to the Master Chief Collection. So yes, apart from that, I have played all the other Halo games, ranging from Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Reach, Halo 4, and Halo Infinite. So, let's count down the list and see what is what. Number 10, Anchor 9, Halo Reach. So, admittedly, you're going to be hearing that phrase Halo Reach a fair amount on this list, because for anyone that doesn't know, Halo Reach is my favourite of the Halo multiplayers. But yes, so getting back to the map itself. So this map is on a spaceship hovering around the planet. It looks like it's a UNSC type aircraft, and yes, so basically you're fighting in its kind of I don't know, weapons bay, because there's quite a few missiles around. So the layout itself is at the back of the ship you have a anti-grav area, so you can travel long distances just by one jump, because obviously anti-grav means low gravity. But the rest of the map itself has some close quarter areas which you can have close combat in. There is also some open distances, so snipers are also a possibility. There's some fixed machine guns as well at some points of the map. And yeah, overall, is it one of my favourite? Is it a map which I definitely prefer to go in? There are others from Reach which I do prefer to go in, but I would say for good gameplay, I'd say this is definitely one of my preferred maps for a good match in Reach. So that's why it's starting the list at number 10. Number 9, Catalyst from Halo Infinite. So, admittedly, this one is going to be a bit of an odd choice for most people watching this video, because I do admit the map design in Halo Infinite is not quite as sometimes interesting or sometimes as good as previous Halo titles. However, I wanted to make an exception for Catalyst, because this is one map which I'm always happy to play. The main reasons is because it may have a simplified design as in the layout, but it has a good amount of variety, so it has close quarters as wide open spaces, as an upper or lower level. So it does make for some decent games, I feel like. The second thing is, I feel like artistically this is one of the better looking Halo Infinite maps there is, with its more kind of jungleistic, well, not necessarily jungleistic, but like water themed plants and a nice balance of metal. So I do think it is a very aesthetically pleasing map compared to some of the other ones, which are more like just in a city or a street or that type of thing. Yeah, so admittedly, like I said earlier, Halo Infinite's map design not exactly the best, but I do really like playing this one, so that's why I've put it at number 9 on this list. Number 8, Battle Creek from Halo Combat Evolved, also known as Beaver Creek from Halo 2 and Battle Canyon from Halo Reach. So this map is no doubt one of the all-time classics when it comes to Halo map. This has been in so many Halo games over the years. It's been reworked in a couple of them, but yes, so this map is definitely a classic for most Halo fans. And yeah, it just wouldn't feel right not putting this map on the list. Is it the most fun map to play? Not necessarily, I admit, especially in the Combat Evolved layout with the teleport right at the back of the buildings, because and also in fairness combined with the spawn points, but that's not the map's fault. But yeah, like I said, they've redone this map a couple times, especially in Battle Canyon, where the teleports are now in a separate area behind the buildings rather than on the teleports themselves. But like I said, this is one of the most iconic maps in Halo history, so this had to naturally be on this list. But the reason it's only number 8 is just mainly because it's not as enjoyable as most of the other maps on this list. But it's so iconic that I couldn't ignore it as a favourite, so that's why it's number 8 on this list. Number 7, Warlord from Halo 2. So with this one, this is another one of those maps which is quite small, quite simplified, but I think it does have some interesting games now and again. So this is kind of a remake of a Halo Combat Evolved map actually. But the reason I've put Warlord on this map is for 2 reasons. Firstly, the aesthetic design of the map is much more intriguing, with its kind of like it's kind of a mixture of ruins with a space type theme, vibe, that type of thing. I also think that just the gameplay of Halo 2 makes the level design a bit better to play as well, because you're not just getting random spawn points. Or at least not as far as I know. So yes, like I said, this was in Combat Evolved, but I do prefer the Halo 2 version more. I think it's mainly just because of the way it's designed. And yeah, you do get close quarters. You can get sniping points high up on the ledge. The only downside about this map is if you're playing a mode like Oddball, in the footage used. So with Oddball, you can just basically hide in specific points, so that can become a bit of an annoyance. But other than that, this is a good map to play, especially in Team Deathmatch, and that's why it's number 7 on this list. Number 6, Condemned from Halo Reach, or Uplink depending on the map type. So with Condemned, the theme of this map is that it's a orbital station, it's a space station orbiting the planet of Reach. Now the way the map is designed is it's basically kind of a circle with a kind of an anti-grav chamber in the middle. This does make for some good games because you do get close quarters spots, you get a lot of tight corners. So in some games it is a real blast. I find it a real blast to play this map. The design itself, if you look outside certain windows, you do get a good view of Reach and its kind of slow destruction, I guess you could say. But yes, I just like the way this map is designed. It's the way it looks, and every time I go in this map, I normally have a good time playing it. So that's why it's number 6 on this list. Number 5, Solace from Halo 4. So this is admittedly the only Halo 4 map that made it onto the list, but there is a good reason why. So first off, admittedly, after playing quite a few of the Halo 4 maps, I don't know, the majority of them just don't feel as good as the other ones. However, for me, Solace is the exception. Solace, once again, going back to a similar theme, the way the level looks, like just a jungle, like a nature-based man-made construction, is really nice to walk around with or run, depending on abilities. But for me, the main reason it is on this list is because of the level design. So with Solace, you've got technically you've got 3 levels. You've got a lower level down by a kind of a power source. You've got the mid level, which is like the main battlefield, and then you've got the high levels, which are good for sniping points. So it has a nice balance, I feel like, between just a sniper heavy map, close quarters, and a nice atmospheric design. So yes, when it comes to Halo 4, yeah, like I said, quite a few of the maps are just too open, I feel like. There's one in particular which is pretty much this sniper country. But yes, I feel like with Solace, it's a nice balance of close quarters, open spaces and a really nice design. So that's why it's number 5 on this list. Number 4, Damnation from Halo Combat Evolved, or Penance from Halo Reach. So I like the design of this one. It's actually one of the maps which I actually, for once, prefer the original, the Combat Evolved version to the Halo Reach version. Because even though the aesthetics of the Reach map has been updated, I kind of like the simplification of the Combat Evolved one. Just plain map, easy to see enemies. So yes. The way the map is designed is you've got 3 different levels, just like the last entry of Solace. But with this one, it's definitely a more defined 3 levels. So you've got the lower level of a bridge, which has holes in it in the Combat Evolved version, and a lower deck. Then you've got a upper deck, which is a bit smaller. And then you've got the top floor, which has like crossways and gantries, which makes it a pretty good place to hide a sniper, to be honest. The map itself is, I think it's well balanced most of the time. Admittedly, there was 1 or 2 moments where just if someone is just camping snipers, that could be a slight problem. So if you're playing, say, a sniper mode in Halo Reach, this one could be a problem if you're inexperienced with snipers. So yeah, just a warning there. But yeah, overall, I do find this a fun map to play. Whenever I get put in Penance or Damnation, I don't have a problem playing it. It's always, well, the majority of the time, it's a fun map to play, and that's why it's number 4 on this list. Number 3, Zealot from Halo Reach. So when it comes to this one, I think this is my favourite Halo Reach map. Because I think while the layout is fairly simplified, it does make for some good games. So it has a 3-level tier. So it has a ground level, in which in the middle there are gravity lifts that take you up to the 2nd level. The 2nd level also has like walkways to the center, and there is also I think there's 2 lifts which take you up to the 3rd floor, which is actually outside of the ship. So there's 0 gravity up there. So just as a heads up, if you're trying to get from the 3rd floor to the 2nd, don't jump, because I found this out a couple of times in the past. If you jump, you'll just slowly rise up, slowly fall down, and you'll probably just kill yourself. So yes, but the gameplay itself is really fun in the Zealot map. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. There's a decent amount of weapons as well in here. You got a plasma repeater at the top level, needlers, usual grenades, DMRs, magnums, and yes, also for a sniping map, this one can be quite an interesting game in a all sniping mode. Same with SWAT as well. So yeah, it's a really good map to play. I think, like I said, Halo Reach is my favourite multiplayer, so one of the maps was probably bound to be in the top 3. And for me, Zealot is my favourite of the Reach maps, and it comes in at number 3 on this list. Number 2, Guardian from Halo 3. So, admittedly, I do prefer playing Halo Reach's multiplayer to Halo 3. However, I do think that overall, Halo 3 has for me a map which is overall a slightly better design. So, first off, as with a couple of other entries on this list, the atmospheric design is really nice, combining kind of like a ruin type theme with a kind of naturistic look. With all like the greenery, but the main reason for me Guardian is this high on the list is because of the level design. So this is one of the more unusual layouts, because instead of just like a linear equal based system, this actually has a couple of things which are only found on certain parts of the map. So first off, we got one gravity lift found on one side of the map. Then you've got a gravity hammer, which is like in the middle of the map, which can be it can be fun to use, but can be a bit annoying if someone gets a hold of it, that type of thing. There's also a gravity lift, which takes you from one side of the map to the other, like on the long straight, which takes you into, I guess, the central core, in a way, with the gravity lift. There's also little fall away spots, which you can fall down. Good sniping positions, close corners, and yeah, I really enjoy playing this map. It's definitely my favourite map from Halo 3, and it's a really good map to play. But I think for me, there was, overall, one other map design which just beats it out, and now I'm going to explain why this is number 2 on this list. Number 1. Lockdown from Halo 2 Anniversary, or if you prefer the classics, Lockout from Halo 2. So for me, this one is one of the all-time great Halo maps. This has been remade in Forge in multiple other titles, but I think for me, the definitive version of this has to be Lockdown in Halo 2 Anniversary. So Halo 2 Anniversary was released to celebrate I think it was the 10-year anniversary of Halo 2. I can't remember its exact release date, so I apologise for that. But yeah, it has slight updates to the original map of Lockout. First off, the resolution, I guess you could say, or the detail of the map was improved and updated, so it made it look even better. Second, there's certain mechanics, like if you shoot the ice roof above you, it can sometimes cause columns of ice to fall down from the roof, which could actually get environmental kills, which I think for Halo is actually quite rare that you can do that. Thirdly, the map design itself is a very good one. It sometimes can be a bit of an issue with games like Oddball, where people just hide on the lower levels. But yeah, so there's a lot of good variety in this map. A lot of different twists and turns. Sniping positions are obviously a thing. I think for me, the definition of a good Halo map, or a good multiplayer map in general, is it has some decent sniping spots, but is not too massive that snipers are just the be all and end all. So yeah, I really do like enjoying playing Lockdown and Lockout. And if you're lucky, sometimes you can also get that in Halo 4, because someone has made a Forge map. I can't remember the name of it, admittedly, because I just came across it randomly, but there is one out there. So yes, one of the all-time classics. Great, good map to play. Environmental damage, decent balance. So I'd say for me that Lockdown is my favourite Halo map of all time.